Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk you through how to use some of these blocks. So we're building a front view, a side view, and a top view. So first of all, let's just take a look at this shape, and we're going to build this shape. So what's confusing sometimes is there's stuff behind that you can't necessarily see. So I see that I have 1, 2, and right back behind there, I'm probably going to have a block. And the reason I'm going to have a block is for this one to stick. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just snapping them together. So right now I have those 3 down there. Now I need this one coming forward, so I'm going to pop that on. So now I have this part right here snapped on right there. The next thing I need to do is snap 2 on top. Like so. So if you notice, that looks like the figure that's drawn or that's given there. So go ahead, see if you can assemble this figure yourself with the blocks you're given. So pause the video, see if you can get this figure drawn as well yourself. Next, I want to take a look at a couple of these. So say you're given a problem, okay? This is given to you and you have a front view, a side view, and a top view. And you need to figure out how you're going to draw it. So I'm going to set that aside because that one already has it drawn. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at how exactly we go about drawing some of these shapes. All right, so when we draw these shapes, first of all, we want to take a look at the front view. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to construct the front view. So I notice that the front view is going to have 3 on the bottom and then 2 on top. So there's my front view. That looks like the front view I'm given. Now the side view, I'm going to flip it to the side. Does it match? Yeah, so far there's no blocks I need to add. Then when you take a look at the top view, now when you're looking at the top view in 3 dimensions, it doesn't matter that this one dips below. Because if you look at the top, it is just 3 across. So this is the diagram that we are going to try and draw on this piece of paper. So what I like to do is I like to set it down kind of at the angle in which I'm going to draw it. So I'm just going to hold it so that we can kind of see what we're doing here. So I'm going to flip this over a little bit so I can, write with my left hand since I'm left-handed. So what I notice is I have 1, 2, 3, 4 points going across this way. So that's what I'm going to draw first, are those 4 points. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's going to represent the bottom here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw this square since I can. So I'm going to go up to represent this line right here, and then I need to go over. And you'll notice that when you tilt it to the side, you can see kind of that top. So we can see this face. We can also see this face right here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect those so that I can see that face. Now, when we're holding it at the angle that I'm drawing it, you can see the top face. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw that in. So now my yellow block has been drawn. Now, obviously, we cannot see the tops of these 2 blocks because they're being covered. So, oops, I went one too far. We're just going to cross that off. Good job, Miss Humbert. So then, what we have here is we're ignoring this. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks that we're using. Okay, so now I notice that this one needs to go up too. So I'm going to go up for each of these to represent the fact that each of these are going up. Then I'm going to go across. So you'll notice that when I'm holding it at the angle that I am, we can see the front face of this block. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. So that represents the front face of that block. Then I notice that I can see the top of both of these blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in that top. Okay, so minus my little oopsies right here. If we hold our finger over that and you hold this up, you can see that this diagram matches. So why don't you go ahead, take some extra space down here, try and draw it again on your own. This stuff does take a lot of practice, and the only way you'll get better is if you try on your own. So go ahead and try it on your own, and then if you get stuck in drawing it, I can't figure out what line goes where, reference the drawing that we did together here, or come up and bring it up to me and let's take a look. Well, let's take a look next at the front view, side view, and top view of this next one. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to construct the front view. So what I notice is that it has 4 blocks across the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and draw those 4 blocks. And then my next row has 3, so I'm going to go ahead and snap it on so that there's 3. And then my next row has 2, so I'm going to go ahead and snap them on so they have 2. And last but not least, my top one just has a row of 1, so I'm going to go ahead and snap that on. So now my front view right here is matching. Let's check my top view. So if I flip it to the top, yes, they're going down, but as you can see, the top view has 4 across, and so do my manipulatives. They have 4 across, all my blocks. Taking a look at the side view, no matter what side we look at, even though it's going up at an angle, there's still 4 blocks going up on either side. So that does match both of our side views. So now we're going to go ahead and try and draw this. So I'm again going to hold it at the angle that I'm going to try and draw it at. So I need 4 blocks represented. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw some of this to start off with. So I like to start by drawing my first block. So there's the side of my first block. Now I notice the angle that I'm holding it at. I can see the front and side face of that block. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch that in. Now, I need to have this be 4 blocks deep. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it so that it is 4 blocks deep. Then I notice that my next level up, I have my next block, and I can actually see that block. I can see the side and top face of that block. So I'm going to go ahead and draw. There's the side face, and there's the top face of that block. And then I'm just going to fill these guys in so that I have this detail right here. So when I take a look at my next layer, I notice that I can see, again, the side and top face of this next block. So I'm going to go, there's my side face, and there's my top face for that block. So now that block's sketched in, so I'm going to just sketch in this white block right here. Last but not least, we need to draw on this top block. So I notice that I can see the side face of this top box. I can also see the front face of this top box. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. And then I'm just going to connect it. So if you look, this does match the drawing and my figure. What I want you guys to do again is try and draw that on your own. Use some of your extra space. See if you can either mimic what I draw or look at your manipulative. Did you build it correctly? Because you should be building it along with me. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this bottom. We want to draw the front, the top, and the right side view. Oh, there's my hair. Hey there. Okay, of that box. So let's take a look. So for the front, you know what? Let's just build it with our blocks. I think that would help. So hopefully you're building it along with me. So I notice that I have 3 on the bottom, and then I'm going to have 1 kind of coming out the side. And then it's going to be 2 tall. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw that. So here's me looking at it at the front. So there's my front. So now I'm going to draw the front view using that. So for the front, it doesn't matter that this one's sticking out. All that matters is that I have 2 blocks up top, and then I have 3 blocks there on the bottom. Okay? Now let's take a look. Now it wants us to do it from the top. So flip it. There's my top. So let's go ahead and let's draw our top view. It looks like my top view kind of looks like an L. So I'm going to draw that, that, and that. So now I've drawn in all of the blocks. Last but not least is that right side view. So there's that right side view, which is a little weird. So now I'm going to draw in my right. So I notice that I have 2 blocks going down, and then I have just 1 that's extending out this way. So that's going to represent my right side view. So this is the conclusion of your note video. What I want you to do is show me that your note video is done. You're going to be holding on to these blocks so you can use them on your homework, but please make sure I get them back by the end of the hour. Thanks for listening.